Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna cover my latest track, Won't Let You Go. I'm gonna go through my project, tell you all my tips and tricks, and show you everything I made for this track. And I hope you will like it. So let's go! So here we are in the project file of Won't Let You Go. So as you can see, it's a bit messy, but it's quite simple in reality. We're gonna start with the intro. So for the intro, I have a lot of Contact actually, because at the time I produced this track, I just bought this in Contact. It's called Vibe Rewind. So basically what it is, it's a lot of analog synths that are resampled into like cassettes and stuff from the 80s. So it has this old school vibe to it, which I love. And I used it a lot in this track. So basically for the intro, I have this, which is just Vibe Rewind. It's just a little pad. I didn't change anything, it's just a raw preset. So then I have this, which is just a little ambience loop from a Noir sampler pack. Sounds like this. So what I did to it is that I put a pitch map onto it and I routed in some MIDI with this MIDI out. So basically what this is just MIDI that's going into the port 0, and then when I go into my pitch map and I go into the settings, I have an input port that is set to 0. So when I play it, you can see the chords are tuning the ambience, which is cool. It's a really easy way to just change a melody into chords rather than using something like auto-tune, which is just going to route one note. So then I have these background vocals. So on it, I have just a little bit of pitch map, again, that is routing to MIDI, as well as EQ. Oh my gosh, that looks awful. Compressor, another EQ. No, this is actually just distortion. Don't even know what plugin this is. And then another EQ to remove the highs, which I boosted earlier, which is kind of weird. Delay and reverb and Edison for resampling. So they sound like this. Which is then going to go to this main vocal, which is here, which is doing kind of the same processing actually. I have just a little alter boy on it. Yeah, as you can see, they're really wet. Here, what is going on is I have this lead that is actually following the melody that I have in the drop, but we'll see that later. And then I have this, which is just a little layer on top of it. I have my bass, which is again, I know, it's actually Retro Machines. Okay, cool. And then we begin to see some risers. So the first riser is right here, which is a 16-bar riser. We go into the build-up, actually. We have some rides and a clap with reverb. You have a lot of risers. So I have this glassy one, this bright one. Also, what I do is that on the last 4 bars of the build-up, I will have another riser that comes in. Here I used this thing, which emphasizes the tension, actually. I also have the kick that is coming in. Yeah, I have an automation for it to go from low pass to full. And then it goes back up, actually. I believe what I did also, here you have the sidechain, right? And here you have an automation to the mix of the sidechain. You can see it goes there, it goes up, and it goes back down. So when the kick is low passed, it will sidechain less. And when it's back down, it will sidechain more. So yeah, that's basically done for the intro and the build-up. Let's get into the drop. Just gonna start with the drums. So I have kick, snare. And then I have 2 sets of rides that sound like this. Then I have my sub that is right here, which is Ivory sub. Basically, the sub sounds like this. If I take down all the effects, it sounds like this. So what I did is I have this Ivory sub rack. From there, I put a Camel Crusher, then a second EQ. Just wanted to have 1 fundamental and maybe 1 or 2 harmonics. A thing I noticed when I have a Camel Crusher with the sub rack is that it will have a tail that I don't want. So I remove it like that. It's just the gate from the limiter. And then I have a Maximus just to make the lows mono. Then a G clip to clip that up. Let's get into the main sounds. So I have this first lead right here that is doing the melody. So this preset is just a square with an automation and master tuning. So when I play it, As you can see, it goes up. I have OTT, hyperdimension, and reverb, but that's basically it. So what I did is I added 3 OTTs. That's the secret sauce for actually making future Riddim. OTTs, in my opinion, are goated. And then I removed a bit of the high mids, the lows, and the extreme high because it was getting out of the place. I have a stereo right here. Also British clean, SUV, and a G-clip. I actually don't know why I have a G-clip on here. Second layer. By the way, when I made this song, Serum 2 was not out, so it's actually Serum 1. And again, this is an old preset I found on the internet. It's just the lead, basically, with a little bit of compression, EQ, and distortion. And this is going through reverb, and an EQ is kind of raw. Yeah, and as you can see, it's quite wet, and it makes the mix more full, actually. And then, the key to making good future rhythm is the chords. And I just use a random wavetable, compressor, distortion, and then going through M3form phase, which is basically disperser but on steroids, 3 OTTs, and then an EQ, and then Camel Crusher, SUV, and G-clip. I don't know why I put G-clip everywhere into this project. It's kind of odd. And they sound like this, the chords. Okay, underneath that I also have a vocal chop right here. That is basically the vocal from the intro right here. But I put, again, 3 OTTs, EQ, D Blue Crusher, well it's a big crusher, and then Camel Crusher British Clean, SUV, and G-clip. Again, I don't need that many G-clip, but it's there, and it sounds like this. So yeah, that's cool. What I didn't tell you actually is that I have a secret sauce on here. On the bass group itself, I have this plugin, which is a distortion multi-effects plugin, and you can see that nothing is turned on except from this. I'm pretty sure you can do it in RC20. Is that if I remove it, listen to the drop. It's boring, right? But when I turn it on, it sounds awesome. You know why? Because there's a pitch automation that is going on here. If I turn it all the way up, it's gonna sound a little bit goofy, but at least you will see what I'm talking about. So it's automating the pitch really fast, and not that much, but enough for it to have a little bit of a lo-fi feel to it. Again, you can do this in RC20, I just don't have it. I use Mishby, I don't know. And if you go onto the bass group with the sub, I also have a Mishby onto it that is slightly distorting it, and the G-clip again. Actually, on the bass groups, I always put a G-clip in the end. I'm gonna go into the second part, and the second part is really easy actually. It's just the same synths, except I have this thing that is again using the pitch map technique I showed you. So yeah, this is just basically going through OTTs and routed into pitch map. The MIDI is routed into pitch map, as you can see. I think that's it for the second part of the drop. It's just the same synths as the first part, but just I chopped them up. Oh, yes, I know what I can talk about. So in the second part, if you listen, you will hear that the sub is doing a pitch automation, and you look at this, you can see that this macro is turned all the way up. It's because I have this automation right here that is turning the knob all the way up, and what it does is that it turns this all the way up like this. This is routed to the coarse pitch of the main sub and the saw, and then when you play it, you can hear there's a little pitch automation going up to down, so that way it just emphasizes the groove and the flow, and it just makes it better. Just do that when you have fast-paced flows. You will see that it's just gonna increase everything. And then yeah, that's basically it for the first drop. Let's go into the breakdown. I have a piano right here. This is a contact piano, yeah, Noirfelt, so it just sounds like this. And I believe, yeah, I put Mishby onto it with a higher rate, just for it to feel a little bit more mellow. And then we get into the break. So the break is just all the elements I just showed you, plus a bass. And also, something I put onto it is that I have a shaper box right here. It's just a filter doing an automation actually on a 1/8 speed, and it's gonna sound like this with it. And if I remove it, it will sound like this. And then I have the drums, I have the kick, I have a drum loop, because I was lazy. And then I have another drum loop. And that's basically it, actually. And then it goes back into a build-up with the kick in the beginning, compared to the first build-up where there's none. And that's basically it. The second drop is basically just the first drop, but more chopped up. And yeah, if you liked what you saw, you can subscribe to the channel, leave a like, or put a comment, tell me what you think about it. And if you liked what you heard, You can listen to the track on Spotify, SoundCloud, all the platforms. I will have that linked below. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!